Tonight, we travel to a land of ancient sands, where history stretches back thousands of years, to a moment of deep change and upheaval. This is the story of Iran in the 1970s, a decade shaped by tension, by hope, and by a people's longing for dignity. Let your breath slow, your muscles relax, and your mind gently open to this narrative of change. In the early 20th century, Iran was a country torn between tradition and modern pressures. By the 1970s, it was ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, a monarch whose family had led Iran for decades. Under the Shah's rule, the nation pursued rapid modernization, with new roads, new factories, and new schools, all meant to build strength and wealth. At the same time, the government was authoritarian, limiting political freedoms and leaning heavily on Western support, especially from the United States and the United Kingdom, because the world's powers were interested in Iran's oil and strategic location. Life in Iran during the early 1970s carried contrast. Some Iranians saw progress: cars on the streets, telephones ringing, and a new mood of prosperity. Others felt left behind. Farmers struggled. Workers felt unheard. And many believed the Shah's government was distant from the people's real needs. Cultural and religious groups felt that traditions were being swept aside, and political critics were often shut out of discussion. Many voices felt frustrated, yet few dared speak openly. Stillness settled like an unspoken tension just beneath the surface. By the late 1970s, that tension began to show. In January 1978, protests began when people took to the streets in Qom, a center of religious learning, after a newspaper article insulted a prominent religious leader. The demonstrations grew. More voices joined in. And soon, even students and workers marched in cities like Tabriz, where clashes with security forces led to deaths and injuries. These protests were not sudden, but they filled the streets with a collective gasp for dignity. Then came a moment historians call Black Friday, in September 1978. The army opened fire on peaceful demonstrators in Tehran's center. Hundreds were killed or wounded. The shock sent ripples through the nation. Suddenly, fear turned into unity, and sadness turned into resistance. People from many walks of life, students, clerics, workers, joined in strikes, sit-ins, and mass demonstrations, calling not just for reform, but for the end of the Shah's rule. By early 1979, Iran was in turmoil. The protests had become huge. The economy was strained. And even parts of the army refused to follow orders. On January 16, 1979, facing a mutiny in the military and unrelenting demonstrations, the Shah left Iran for what he thought would be temporary exile. This was a turning point, a moment of quiet before a great change. While the Shah left, another figure prepared to return. From exile in Iraq and later in France, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, a Shiite religious leader, spoke to Iranians through recorded messages. He urged peaceful protest, unity against oppression, and freedom rooted in spiritual values. On February 1st, 1979, Khomeini returned to Tehran, welcomed by massive crowds. Within weeks, the monarchy dissolved, and on February 11, 1979, the government was peacefully replaced by what became the Islamic Republic of Iran, a state guided by religious leadership in many aspects of governance. After the revolution, an interim government was formed, led by Mehdi Bazargan, under the order of Khomeini. Old structures dissolved, new systems arose, and Iran began a period of introspection and transformation. This was not the end of struggle, but a beginning of a new chapter. The revolution reshaped Iran's identity. It ended the Pahlavi monarchy. It established the Islamic Republic, and it changed Iran's relationship with the world. The new republic emphasized religious authority, with scholars and clerics playing major roles in political leadership. This was a different vision for government. As the night settles in, rooted and the world grows quieter and political principles, you can allow your body to rest and your mind and your thoughts to gently drift. Remember that history is not just dates. There is nothing facts, you need to do but now. Stories of people, no place you need to be. Their struggles, just listen. Their hopes, and let the story carry you towards sleep. Was a land of contrast, of tension and transformation, where voices rose long together ago, in a call for dignity. In a quiet corner of America, now, let your thoughts a baby boy like was born in a small wooden cabin, and allow sleep to arrive. The cabin was simple, with rough walls and a soft fire